G'day folks, I just thought I'd run the 253 with the exhaust manifolds on and some coolant in the system. It seems I've already found the first water leak. Thermostat housing, it's badly leaking. I only poured about a litre of water in there and yeah, it's all just weeping out through the thermostat housing. So yeah, gotta fix that one first. I'm also going to throw some stop leak in there just for the hell of it. God knows what this engine's been through. If the thermostat housing's leaking that bad, then chances are this thing's been cooked. Even Brad said, just watching the video, Brad said it had gotten very hot at one stage, so I think this old girl's been cooked more than once. Especially since there's rusty water sprayed all over everything, like all this, that red oxide coating on everything. Yeah, that's from a continuous long-term water leak. Probably the thermostat housing to begin with. So yeah, I'll pull that off, clean it up, maybe even delete the thermostat and just let it circulate through the radiator without any fan cooling. The fan's not hooked up to anything, so it doesn't matter. I just want to make this thing run long enough to clear up whatever stuck valves it's got. Otherwise I'm going to be pulling the rocker covers off I'm going to pull the rocker covers off anyway and have a look inside, but I just want to give this thing a good run before I do that. Yeah, I guess I better get that housing off. And I'm guessing somebody got up to the point of trying to remove the thermostat housing and then realised this bolt had pretty much glued itself in with aluminium oxide, because it didn't take much to rip the head off it and the rest of it ain't going anywhere, so I just got to try and work it loose and pull the housing off and then try and extract the busted bolt. Yeah, this engine, it's been neglected and people, yeah, nobody ever loved it, but I'll give it the loving it needs to run properly again. Even though it's only a 253, the parts for it are dirt cheap. I can get a full top-end VRS kit with the 2-head gaskets and all the other top-end gaskets and seals and pretty much everything for about $35. And it's a proper ACL one as well, so that's dirt cheap. Can't go wrong with that, but it won't be until I get the Ford Fairmont back on the road properly and in my name. So I've got to spend a few $100s on that car, then I'll buy a VRS kit for this and we'll actually pull it to bits and go over it piece by piece. I know a lot of you are really dying to see inside this engine and find out how it works. I know a lot of people have never seen inside a pushrod V8 or any kind of V8 to that matter. So yeah, I'd love to bring you some videos on how these work and how they come apart and how to fix them, that sort of thing. Yeah. Apart from that, it's set up and working. I just wanted to get some water in there so I can give it a proper test run. Because right now it fires up, but it doesn't really... I can't run it too long. Not without burning valves, or not burning valves now, but just more heat damage. Not that it hasn't already been overheating. It wasn't too bad. Water seems to be the best thing to dissolve this aluminum oxide sludge. And yeah, it's well and truly neglected. Let's see if we can even get the thermostat out. Yuck. There is a little air bleeder on there which appears to have been working. This water's gone past it. But looking at the oxide build up around the housing and the fact that that's broken through to where the... Oh no, that's a heater thing I think, but it does appear to have broken through to also where the bolts and studs go in, down in there. Yeah, it's well and truly eaten out. This whole inlet manifold could be easily replaced. I know where there's 2 or 3 of them sitting around gathering dust, and that's on the shelf at the scrap metal yard. The guys that work there are old Holden fans, and they put this sort of stuff aside, like these inlet manifolds. There's a 2-barrel, there's a 4-barrel, there's all sorts of intake manifolds and things sitting around. So if I do need another manifold, it's nothing to get one for like $25. If not pretty much nothing, they'll practically give it to me. With all the threads and things stuck in them, they're classed as irony aluminum. So they're only really worth about $2.50 by scrap weight. So yeah, I can easily get another intake manifold if I need it, but for now I'm going to scrub this surface clean, get this stud out, probably with a pair of vice grips or welding a nut to it, get this stud out and just glue the thermostat housing back down so I can do a proper run test with some water in it. That's all I care about right now. I'll address this issue later when I pull this to bits. But right now that thermostat is blocked. It's not stuck. It's moving, but we don't need it. Not at this stage. Yeah, this has part of a busted bolt still left in it. They've bodged this up just to keep it going again, and it's eventually started leaking, and they've just decided to leave it that way. That's probably why this engine was canned. They've overheated it several times and pretty much fried it. So yeah, this will still be a good video on finding out how hard it is to kill a Holden V8, because I'd say this engine has been through a lot of hell. A lot of hell, I'd say. A bit of advice on removing seized studs. Be fairly gentle, like persuasive amount of force, but don't just try and rip at it and break it free, or either break it off further down or just rip it to pieces with the jaws of the vice grips. Likewise, a little bit of tapping down also helps to break the seal around the threads, break up the oxide. Don't bash the crap out of it, but just sort of like that, and just wriggle it back and forth, and that's free. It was before, but yeah, just gentle persuasion, a little bit of wriggling, and you'll break the seal. Usually when people just start reefing on it, they either break it off flush with the block, or they just keep slipping the jaws of the vice grips and just tear metal off the rest of the stud. But that should come out now. Yeah, it's definitely free. And these are cheapo vice grips, but they do their job fairly well. Only a little bit left, but that's pretty much out. Alright, let's give the old 253 another little bit of a run. Now they've got some cooling up to it, I just gave it a quick burst and it seems to be pretty happy. So, yeah, it should work well. Also, pinch the throttle pump cam off this holly, because that one there had been pinched off it, that's why the throttle pump wasn't working. So I pinched that fits up. I got it hopefully in the right position. Sounds rattling around. Getting nice and warm though. The poor old radiator cap doesn't seal anymore. It's all going out the overflow. Oh well, no worse than what it's been through before. Main water pump's leaking. That whole side there was, the bolts were virtually loose and that was pissing water out everywhere. So I tightened that up and the silver seal seems to have helped as well. I threw half a can of silver seal in there just for the fun of it. But yeah, it's just warming up, but it's just puking straight out the overflow. It's a tired old thing. It's a bit of more of a toy than anything else. I wouldn't bother restoring one of these. 308 definitely, but not a 253. But either way, I'll probably end up pulling it apart one day and see what's going on, find out what the lazy cylinder is and why. There's a rather disturbing knocking sound too, but I've got a feeling it's part of my mounting system clattering around. Don't know yet. It might even have bottom end noise, like a bad bit rod bearing or something. That's all fun. We'll run it till it pops and then we'll find out why. Thanks for watching.